this is tube feeding the little Shar Peis. They got sick from some virus. My vet gave me instructions on how to tube feed them and the amount. So what I'm supposed to do first is I've got 4 3cc syringes and my cath tube. Alright, and this was measured out from their mouth down to the last rib of their body for the size of the dog, and there's a mark there that'll let you know exactly how far I've got to put it in. Okay, what they wanted me to do first is I get 6 cc's worth of water, and this water is room temperature. It's filtered water, which is why it's in this container. So I know it's clean and it's at least room temperature. Alright. And this is the puppy formula. And this has been warmed by doing a warm bath. I set it in the sink of hot water until it gets past room temperature. It should be about body temperature, just like you do with normal baby formula for people. I don't microwave it because it puts a hot spots, and the last thing you want to do is when you're shoving fluid down your puppy's throat and into its belly is to shove very hot fluid into its stomach. Okay. So I get like 6 cc's. And I don't have to get all the air out, but I like to, just because I don't want to make them hurt, basically. Alright, so I'm going to take the 2 pups. This is Dorado. You don't have to cut the loot. This right here is their container. It's their makeshift incubator. They've been sick for a couple days now. They got some kind of virus and it caused them to have respiratory issues. So luckily we were able to find one of the family members had this oxygen generator, and I created a top out of plexiglass and put a tube in there, so now they get force-fed oxygen. Alright, just like a mom and dog, the babies want to go potty before they eat. So what I did is I got a Chuck's pad, you know, just regular doggy piddle pad, and then you just kind of massage their nether regions, just like mama would do. And this keeps you from having puppy pee on you and making a mess, and now we're starting to go. As you can see, it's getting all wet. So you definitely want to make sure that they're peeing, because you don't want to put a bunch of fluid in them without any fluid coming out. Keep massaging this a little bit, see if they have to go poop. If he needs to go, he'll bear down, and just like a human baby, he'll give you a little grunt. Okay. See, he's gone pee. This is all new right here, so that's good to see that he is still peeing. So the fluids that I am putting in are coming back out. And he has gone up in weight, which is also a good sign. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap him up. Doesn't have to be real tight. It's mainly just to keep him warm and to try to keep his paws out of his face to some degree. Now this part really kind of squeamy and squeamish and nasty, but you get a little worried when you do it because you don't want to put it in your trach. That's what your biggest fear is. I know it's mine. But you want to hold them upright so their neck is bent, because their esophagus is on the top where their trach is on the bottom, so you definitely want to get in your esophagus. Okay, I'm pre-moistening a little bit with formula, and then get it to his mouth. He'll start sucking on it, and then he'll realize exactly what this is, and he won't like it too much. you've got a gag reflex too. You don't want to shove it. If you feel pressure, you want to stop. But he's actually swallowing right now. So see, there's that mark. And he's actually swallowed the tube. And you can put your ear to the end of it, and that's just to make sure that you don't hear any breathing sounds. Now, the other thing is that you start off with water. The dogs need water anyway. They're pushing some water in, and this tube actually holds about 3 cc's. So it'll take about the whole syringe in order just to fill up the air with this tube. And what it does is it'll put the air out the bottom. And if this happens to be in the wrong hole, they'll start coughing. And it's better to get a little bit of water in there than to get formula in there. Okay, so you hold the tube, put in, and hook up the formula. You see, he's kind of happy going at it. Doesn't really like it too much, but he knows that he's getting food. You can feel his little belly getting warm fluid in there. Don't go jamming it in there because you don't want to go rupture your stomach. See, he'll make noises, which is good because if he's making noises, you know definitely you're not afraid. He feels his belly being filled up. Don't spit out. You want to keep that line next to the mouth because if it starts coming out too far, then it will come out of their belly and they get aspirated. And that's the biggest fear, is to have them aspirate. Alright. Now, since he's been eating more, I give him a couple extra cc's. Fill him up. Last thing is the last syringe of water, and this is really a cleansing of the line because right now this line is full of formula you just put in, and what you really want is the puppy to eat the formula. So keep that line there, and you're now putting the water in to make sure that you flush all the formula into his belly. See, he kind of calms down when he starts feeling it going under nice and easy. Okay, when you take the line out, you want to make sure that you're not pulling any fluid out. So you can either crimp the line, or this way it's already got a vacuum. So you can pull the line out and there's nothing coming out of it. But if you watch, as soon as I pull the syringe, you get a close up on that, you'll see fluid come out of the end of the syringe. That you don't want to. That's why you want to make sure that the end is capped so it doesn't fall out when you're pulling it up. And if it goes into his esophagus, that would be bad, because then he's breathing into his lungs. So now he's been fed. Dorado's had his evening meal, so he's good to go for a couple hours, and I'll put him back. Now what to do is repeat this whole process because I have Bella. I got my water syringes. I get my formula. Piddle pad. Alright, Bella. Same thing. sit there and stimulate. It's the alarm to tell me that I need to feed them. She's gone fatal. I'm going to keep on trying to see if she's got to go poo as well. At this age, this is how they know it's time to go to the bathroom, and that mama will actually lick them. And she keeps them clean. She eats their poop and drinks their urine. Okay, the same process. I'll lay Bella down, wrap her up. She's a wiggly worm too. All right. Now you may wonder why I'm tube feeding versus bottle. And one of the reasons is that because they have a head cold, which is why they just started losing weight and they got sick. But there we go. And see, she swallowed that pretty easy. So their sucking factor is not all that great. They can nurse, but then we wanted to keep them separated from mom and the rest of the pups. So if they're contagious, but they don't spread it. And this is quite unnerving when you're sitting there just watching a puppy with this tube in his throat and you see it kind of gagging because you know how that feels to have something stuck in your throat. So, they're not in danger as long as you got it in the right spot. But the other reason why tube feeding is because you can measure exactly how much you're putting in. When you're bottle feeding, you can do the same, but you can't actually force the fluids in there, and if they don't want to eat, they're not going to eat. And when they're sick, you need them to eat. You need them to eat and keep healthy. Okay, I'm going to drop a couple more cc's. Take a tube. Making sure my line is right there, stays next to her mouth. She's in a normal position. You don't hold it like a baby with her on her back because that's not the way dogs generally feed. They'll feed on their bellies or on their sides with their head bent. So you want to make sure you keep them in their same posture. Okay, the other one. Now if I had a larger syringe, I could have just pulled it all up in one syringe, but this is what I was given and this is what I use. Then it keeps me from putting way too much in her belly at one time. That's all the formula, and then to flush with some more water. Since it's all empty, this is stopping it off, so there's not any flow. So he's calmed down. He's just kind of sitting or sipping on it. You can pull it out. He's got a full belly. Now once again, watch as soon as I take that tube off, or the syringe off, it all empties out. And that is 2 fed Shar Peis. And this is Bella. Hoping she gets better.